here we go, in the workshop. This is going to be a first take kind of vid. If I mess up speaking wise, you're going to have to bear with it, because I can only cut this out once and I'm going to do it first go. Like we mentioned earlier, you want to be using a dust mask for this. You don't want to be breathing in the resin, especially this one, which is a fiberglass helmet as well, so you probably have little bits of fiberglass flying around. So I just got an ordinary dust respirator, some goggles. I'll show you what you need the goggles for now. We're going to be using the Dremel, showed you earlier, as well as a cutting wheel. Right, before we even start cutting, you don't really have to do this, but it'll probably help if you get yourself a pen and mark out the actual visor area, just so you can so you know where you're coming at. If you hear any coughing, I do apologise, it's my dog. It's a bit poorly at the moment. Right. Okay. Now, before we start cutting as well, when you get to these areas, I always find I switch to a drill bit for the Dremel, if I can find it. This one. And I usually drill by here. And the rest then I usually get out with the file. That's pretty much what we need to do. I'll put this drill bit on now. These Dremels really are worth their money. To do this by hand, you're looking at maybe an hour. Let's see how quick this will go now. Probably a bit muffled now as I put the respirator on. Leave it off for a minute. Right, now when you start cutting this out, you don't want to try and cut straight through on your first go. It's a bit loose. Take your time with it, there's no rush. A bit too tight now. Nice easy passes. Slow and steady and all that. Right, okay. Apologise for the noise now. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Oh yeah, the reason why I want to be wearing goggles for is because these bits, they have a tendency to shatter. And when they're spinning, it tends to throw them off in every direction. And if you haven't got the goggles on, I guarantee they'll go straight for your eyes. Right, turn the power on. There we go. So like I said, nice and easy. There you go, there's your first cut. Nice and straight, take your time on it, you've got a nice straight cut. I'll skip ahead now as I finish cutting this out. I'll stop when I get to this section here. And I'll show you how to deal with the corner pieces. It's very tight to get into. So yeah. Alright, here we go. There's the helmet. All nicely cut out. But we still have the little join by here now that we need to get into. It's just a bit too tight to get into with the cutting wheel. So what I like to do is I like to swap to this, which is a little it's almost like a corrugated drill bit, I think. I don't know what you want to call it. So what we'll do is swap over, swap your cutting disc out, place with your little drill bit. You want to go quite slow with this. You don't want to be ramming it down. No. Just take your time, like you do with the cutting. I'll turn the drill on. Anytime you're switching drill bits over, make sure you turn the drill off. You don't want it accidentally going off and cutting your fingers out. Right, so like I said, like with the cutting disc, nice and slow. Same then for this side. Right, now I'm going to have to switch back to the drill bit, the cutting disc in a minute, as I come a bit short on the one section. I'm sure it's a bit hot. Right, the cutting disc I'm going to switch back to the goggles because there's a tendency to shatter. I don't want it in my eyes. Right. So now we've drilled up the little drill bit by here. The visor should just pop relatively easy out. Like so. Voila, one visor cut out. Now of course, now that we drilled out some of this section, now we're going to have to neaten up this bit here. So what we want to do is grab your needle files. Nice squared one I use. You just wanna start sanding them out. Now I'll be grabbing the other helmet now, and I'll be showing you how to install the ears. You really wanna cut the visor area out last, unless you're planning on putting a visor in. As when you cut out this plastic section, the visor, the helmet itself loses all this structural integrity, and they have a tendency to crack across here. So when you put the visor in, it gives it back its strength. So if you're going to cut the visor out first, make sure you put the visor in. As soon as you cut out the resin for the helmet. And with these needle files, it doesn't really take long to get back out of that area. Switch to my flat one. So we go. There's the corner area. Now basically you want to get some nice sandpaper and neaten up the edges here. Check for any air bubbles. On this helmet though, if you can see, there actually is none. But like I said, sand these rough edges with some sandpaper, and finish filing out this one here. And next up now we'll start working on the boarding piece, which is this little section here. Righto, thanks for watching. See you next video.